All our speakers are here, and as people are joining, um, I'll just begin the flow and give the outline also. So, a very good morning, hello, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all participants who've joined us today from various regions for this very interesting discussion. My name is Suchitra Upre, and I'm the coordinator for the FAO-supported initiative, the CAFI-SSF Network, which is also called the Global Network for Capacity Building to increase access of small-scale fisheries to financial services. So on behalf of CAFI-SSF Secretariat, I welcome all to this webinar talk series. It's the last of the discussion for this year that we are holding. It's a knowledge sharing platform for all the stakeholders who are associated and interested in increasing access to finance for the SSF. So today's event is being co-organized in association with the Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture, which is in India, in the city of Chennai, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The topic, as you all know today, is for today's discussion is shrimp insurance, managing risk for a sustainable blue transformation. As you all know, shrimp is one of the world's most valuable aquatic commodities that represents 17% of global seafood trade and generates significant income for both commercial and small-scale producers. Key producer countries such as China, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, Ecuador dominate the global shrimp industry supply and support millions of livelihoods and driving exports worth millions of dollars annually. Yet, despite of its profitability, shrimp aquaculture remains one of the riskiest aquaculture ventures. Farmers have been facing recurring threats from disease outbreaks, biosecurity lapses, climate-induced disasters, and volatile markets. Events such as floods, typhoons, and disease epidemics can wipe out entire crops, pushing farmers, insurers, and financiers to seek new ways to mitigate loss and stabilize risk. Insurance solutions can play a transformative role in de-risking shrimp production and enhancing investment flows into the blue economy. Well-designed products tailored to shrimp farming systems can help farmers recover from losses, sustain production, and build resilience. For insurers and financial service providers, shrimp insurance presents an opportunity to expand into a growing, high-value market segment while also contributing to the broader sustainability and climate adaptation goals, particularly the SDG 14. As per FAO's 2022 World Review of Capture Fisheries and Aquaculture Insurance, which highlights the progress in awareness and product development, but also notes challenges in uptake, affordability, the claims management, particularly for small-scale producers. As the industry enters a new decade, marked by climate risk and market uncertainty, there is an urgent need to scale up inclusive, innovative insurance mechanisms for aquaculture, starting with this high-value sector like the shrimp aquaculture. So today's webinar, we have brought together insurers, aquaculture experts, insurtech companies, and producers from major shrimp producing and exporting countries to share their experiences, challenges, and innovations in shrimp insurance. So with this, I welcome all again, all the participants, and now we will begin with the discussions. First, I will provide the outline for today's program. So today's program agenda, as you see, is first, I will just give a background about the FAO's report of the World Review of Capture Fisheries and Aquaculture Insurance Report, which was published in 2022, with focus on shrimp insurance status, focusing on Asia aspect, because today we have most of the Asian countries. This is a big report of over 200 pages, which covers various regions. But with the time shortage, I will just walk you all through and give a brief background about what the review study found out about some of the Asian countries that have been documented. And of course, we have invited 3 of those countries for deeper discussions. And the points that will be focused on will be more on insurance product design and policies, the underwriting experiences, and of course, the lessons learned of success and failures in these countries. Thereafter, we'll follow with the question answer sessions and then the remarks by the co-organizer and the closing remarks by FAO. So I will begin with my short presentation. Dugi, if you can stop sharing, I will share my slide. It's fine. I don't want to give an elaborate introduction about myself. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, madam.
Okay, so as I mentioned, every decade FAO has been coming up with this review of captive fisheries and aquaculture insurance. The last report was published was in 2022, but the work was conducted for almost a year and a half from 2020 onwards, right when COVID started. Before that, there were two separate reports that were done. One was in 2006 on the World Aquaculture Insurance, and in 2009 on World Capture Fisheries Insurance. So what did this study review actually cover? It covered about 30 countries, and the findings of this were based mainly on the extensive desk review research and complemented by the responses through online surveys, which were specifically targeted at insurers, reinsurers, brokers, surveyors, risk assessors who were involved in capture fisheries as well as aquaculture insurance business. We had about 60 responses, of which 48 responses from direct insurers and reinsurers, and 12 responses came from brokers, surveys, and loss adjusters. This report has been a big compendium of 5 regional reports, right from Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the Oceania. Whereas, and 4 national reports have been documented elaborately on India, China, Russia, and the United States. Just to give an idea, at that time, the global growth rate of insurance was at 2.7% with gross written premiums of US dollar 5.2 trillion. Non-life insurance contributed 46%, which also includes aquaculture. Global aquaculture insurance market at that time with total premium stood at US dollar 161 billion. And Asia was the fastest growing market in terms of the GWP, with China and Japan as the largest insurance markets in the world. Japan has been the largest mutual insurance market in the world. So as you can see from the policies that were worldwide enforced, this is an estimate based on the responses that we received, because during the survey, we found that the insurance industry stakeholders are extremely confined to the information that a lot of information is classified. They are not willing to share. So based on whatever was shared, this is an estimate. With worldwide, only 40,000 policies were in force in the aquaculture sector, of which Asia contributes to 33,200, from which again, Indonesia and China had shared more information in terms of so the pond construction area that was insured was about 72,000 hectares. And in Europe, the farm were insured, which were insured was 17,000 numbers with 2,700 number of policies taken. America, majority of is from the United States, where there is a direct premium insurance uptake, which is in fact, USA is one of the countries which has direct insurance premium uptake majorly with 2,500. Africa was estimated less than 400 at that time. and Oceania nations were half of aquaculture establishments, which carry some type of stock mortality insurance. So coming to the Asia insurance market, about 32% of Asia region premium share is dominated. Life and non-life insurance markets in Asia was estimated at approximately 5%. Gross premiums at that time for non-life were USD 564 billion, and the insurance penetration was estimated only at 2.1%. So here, just to give a glimpse of the entire these 4 to 5 countries which we focused on during Asia was I just want to focus on the kind of species and the growing systems insured, because our discussion today revolves more around the shrimp product species. So as you can see, Indonesia has a shrimp species, which is both freshwater and brackish water shrimp species has been is insured, along with other species like milkfish, catfish, tilapia, and polyculture. The growing systems that they insure are both freshwater and brackish water shrimp ponds, fish ponds, pen, and marine cage culture systems. Philippines again has a product and this insures shrimp, black tiger shrimp particularly, along with other crustacean species like crab, lobster, as well as the prawns. Milkfish is, of course, the national fish of Philippines, so it is insured along with groupers and other shellfish varieties, and the seagrass, seaweeds, and sea grapes too. Again, over here, the pond insured systems of shrimp is included. Vietnam, there was a pilot when the giant in 2011 when giant tiger prawn, mainly in the Sok Trang and Bac Lu region, um, has been insured. I'm sure Vietnam team is going to discuss more on this. And of course, the ponds and cage systems are also insured. In Japan, all types of species, cultured species are insured, and the ponds, pens, and cage culture systems too are insured. So over here, I want to specifically draw the attention on the Indonesian government when in 2017, introduced this in 2016 introduced this law on protection and empowerment of fishermen, fish farmers, and salt farmers. Basically, this is brackish water shrimp farmers. It was mandatory for the central and local government to provide insurance. And this, there was a specific shrimp cultivation business insurance product that was launched in the country for small scale producers. And it was to minimize the risks of these small producers who were practicing freshwater and brackish water farming. The Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries has implemented this aquaculture microinsurance scheme under its program of the APPIK, and it covers stock mortality arising from diseases and natural calamities. This program was implemented through a synergy of the ministry and the Financial Services Authority in association with the Indonesia General Insurance Association. And they had designated, which was a designated implementing insurance company, which is the PT Asuransia Jasa Indonesia. And there was a consortium of 12 insurance company that supported distributing this product across various regions in Indonesia. The other country has been Vietnam. In 2011, they started this pilot premium subsidy program to compensate farmers, including the fish farmers, in 5 provinces. And this program was implemented by the government, Ministry of Finance, along with Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the People's Committee of Select Provinces and Cities. Vietnam was one country which had taken the insurance at the commune level. And this was done to cover the perils of storms, floods, droughts, including diseases. And the technical assistance over here in this pilot was provided by Swiss Re, including the actuarial services to implement this insurance product. And the partners who were there was Baumin, Bauviet, and Vinair, which is the Vietnam National Insurance Reinsurance Corporation. which designed and provided insurance products and services on a not-for-profit basis. The number of households covered were 7,487, and about 5,809 hectares of shrimp and catfish aquaculture areas were insured. Unfortunately, this program failed, so by 2013, when the evaluation was done, due to high losses, and the loss ratio was 306%. Yet, after 6 years, the government came up with a regulation, and it was decided that to support premium insurance support would be provided again for small scale producers as well as other fishers. If it's a poor household, 100% of premium support would be provided. If it's a near poor household, 80%. Ordinary fishers will be 60, and if it's a cooperative, it will be 20%. So this was an attempt made by the government to revive the sector again. By the time when the study was in progress, when we found India, unfortunately, did not have a product at that time for shrimp insurance. As you can see over here, both the prawn, the brackish water aquaculture, the types of insurable risks were not available as a part of the government scheme. Of course, public insurance company and certain private insurance company would make the product available on demand for the individual entrepreneurs or the clients. But as such, the central government schemes were not non-existent at that point of time when the study was in progress. And there was no scheme also available for the damage of farm infrastructure. So coming to Bangladesh, which was one of the countries studied. So there were two major companies, SBC, that is Sadharan Bima Yojana, and JBC, which is Jeevan Bima Corporation. So they had introduced shrimp and prawn culture insurance to cover fish stock loss and damage, including the pond infrastructure and also for the feedstocks on site. The named perils were the same as others, like the flood, cyclones, and tidal surges. However, due to poor underwriting results, this program and this policy was withdrawn by this insurance company. Again, this was tried in the Khulna region, where this pilot was done, and all risk covers for shrimp hatcheries were also provided in the Cox's Bazar area. However, again, by 2020, when we were doing this study, the Department of Fisheries clearly reported there was no insurance program in operation to cover these aquaculture activities. But based on research, based on recent reports, we've heard Bangladesh is again trying to come up with an insurance product, particularly for the shrimp industry. So with this brief that I provided, we will begin the discussion to understand the country perspectives and experiences from the three countries that we have invited today. So from Vietnam, China, and India. And I would like to invite the Vietnam team to present and give us the perspective from there. So here we have two presenters from Vietnam. So Daniel Penelosa Martinella, who is the Chief Scientific Officer from Shrimpl Private Limited, and Mr. Steve Dang, who's the Chief Operations Officer from Shrimpl Private Limited. So Daniel and Steve, over to you.
Hi, Sikta. Thank you so much. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you for the overview. This was very eye-opening and interesting. I think it's a very good introduction to broadly aquaculture insurance. What we are trying to communicate today is what we are doing in Shrimpl. So I'll start by sharing my presentation. Just give me 1 sec. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So as Sigita mentioned, I'm Daniel Peñalosa. I'm his Chief Scientific Officer at Shrimpl. Instead of talking about my background, what I would prefer to do is talk about what Shrimpl is trying to achieve and what we are, and how this connects to ensuring the aquaculture industry in general, but in particularly the shrimp aquaculture industry. So I'll start with our mission, which is to holistically assess, predict, manage, and mitigate the shrimp farming risks. So that's what we started to try and achieve since we started doing Shrimpl. And the idea is to provide transparency, predictability, and resilience on shrimp farm cash flows. We've seen that how we started this is we were looking into how we could help shrimp farmers of all different sizes, but mainly small scale farmers to engage with the financial sector. And what we saw or obviously discovered is that the financial sector was reluctant to enter the shrimp industry at that scale if there was no insurance to back that lending facilities. So that's when we started to look into shrimp insurance and how we could provide some technology to overcome these issues. So I would try and start with what we see as the
Mute the
challenges.
video.
All right, the challenges of ensuring shrimp farming. So I know probably all of you already know this, but I think it's important to settle a background and some information before we move forward on how we try to tackle these solutions or these problems. So why is it so difficult to insure shrimp farming? So the first thing we need to know is we need to identify and understand the risks, right? If we don't understand the risks and the underlying risks that are in the shrimp aquaculture industry, it's impossible to manage them. So managing these risks is the ultimate goal, right? So to manage those risks, we need to understand. And once we understand, we need to measure. So for me, particularly, points 1 and 3 tried to jump over point 2 when we started trying to do some industry insurance. So we understand the risks. All of us probably understand the risks of shrimp farming. And we tried to do some management without the second step, which is measuring those risks. So historically, as you know, shrimp farming is, as we say, like fishing in a dark pond. So you go and put the shrimp in a pond originally, right? This is the 80s or 90s. You put some PLs in the ponds, you wait there, you put some manure and stuff to have activity in there. Shrimp will grow and you will harvest with very low costs, right? This is a long time ago, before the first baculovirus penidae disease hit, and the big diseases that came after that one, like yellowhead, taura, white spot. So it looked really simple, very profitable. So everyone said, okay, let's try and ensure that. And then the elephant in the pond arrived, which was the first one, as I said, diseases. What's the big problem with shrimp diseases? The big problem is the first one, shrimp do not have acquired immune system. So we cannot vaccinate as we understand vaccines typically in fish and other vertebrates, right? So we need to do other activities to make sure that shrimp can resist these diseases. So the second part of this elephant in the pond is actually very connected to the first one, and it's inadequate pond management. So why is it really connected? Since we're lacking this acquired immune system, we need to do something to help the shrimp combat this or fight these diseases, right? So what we need to do is to make the shrimp as relaxed or as unstressed as possible. And how do we stress shrimp? So we stress it by very high densities, because you think of a person, it's pretty much the same, right? Imagine you're in a room, if you have space and you can move, you're relaxed, you can move better, you're less stressed. If you're all crunched and have a lot of people around, then you're going to have a lot more stress and difficulties to maintain the status quo. So that's number one. And number two, and they are again very much linked, is water quality. So water quality management has done huge leaps from the beginning of shrimp farming until now. And now we are starting finally to measure. And for me, water quality is the number one priority for shrimp farming if we want to manage disease. Why I say this disease is going to be there, they're already there. If you go and check the ponds in Ecuador, in everywhere in Mexico, in India, the disease, it's not that you don't have the disease. The disease is prevalent, it's there. It's how you manage the pond and how you manage the stock that will help you reduce this risk for diseases. So if we want to manage disease and the risk for diseases, it's how we manage the pond, not how we eliminate the diseases. So that's how we see the difficulties of ensuring shrimp farming is, okay, we understand that, but how do we do it? So a little bit before the how do we do it is we, as I said, try to understand the risks. So to understand the risks in aquaculture, we see two kinds, well, everywhere, but in aquaculture, in shrimp, we see frequency risks or frequency loss risks and severity loss risks. They're both important. Usually the severity loss are the ones that are very flashy because you have these huge mortalities, 100% mortalities in a week or a couple of days. If there's a disease or a power outage that eliminates or depletes oxygen, or I don't know, algal blooms, or again, pond management, right? These are very flashy and very important to manage. Not only the disease mortalities, but others like the genetic weakness. That's an important one, not only at management perspective and risk perspective, but also at resiliency. You will see that both frequency and severity losses are very much similar. The difference is how they are presented. In terms of severity, we have the extreme climates, as Sukita was mentioning, the floods, the droughts, and this will only, as we all know, unfortunately, probably get worse as climate change advances. So that's something we also need to look out for. And then you have in some countries like Mexico, for example, you have some security risks. I'm from Mexico, that's why I know where security risk can be an issue, because the areas where shrimp farming is done is also usually the areas where you have some illegal activities. So you have to be careful of that. Then you have the frequency losses, which are a little bit, for me, we all know that they are not as flashy, but they are just as impactful. So in the case of, for example, some diseases, you have diseases that will reduce growth or will cause not so efficient feed conversion, for example. And this will have a very important impact on the profitability of the farm, even if you don't see high mortality. So this is something we've seen in the latest diseases we look at in shrimp farming over the world. So you don't see huge mortalities, you see small mortalities, you don't see a huge reduction in growth or deformation on the shrimp. But over time, this accumulates, and by the end of the cycle, you end up with a very high loss. So now that we looked at and understand the different risks, which I put in this graph, where we have the mortality and disease, the natural disasters, the adverse weather conditions, water quality issues, equipment failure, third-party liability, business interruption, evasion, theft, and transit insurance. These are the risks, the types of risks to see. And on the second level, on that green line in the second circle, in the inner circle, it's the risk mitigation strategy or the risk mitigation tools that we know that can help reduce each of these different risks in shrimp aquaculture. So the ones that you see in green are within our Shrimpl ecosystem. So we work with, for example, labs that will help us look into diseases or look into the ponds to find diseases with one simple test to get a very advanced information with very high quality and very high, I forgot the word in English, but it gives us time to make decisions before the disease has a significant impact on your crop. So that's something that we do not as Shrimpl, but as part of our ecosystem. With Shrimpl, what we do is, yeah.
Daniel, sorry to interrupt. You have 10 more minutes.
Okay, yeah, don't worry. I
I'm
have
just
this covered.
reminding you about the time. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. So we use satellite imagery and other devices like IoT devices, and as I said, different laboratories to centralize all of that information and then use that information to create a proprietary risk or resilience score. What's the idea of this? So we have over 100 data points when we see this as a static problem, when we see this as a dynamic problem, and we have the ability to do both. We have over 400 data points to analyze over a production cycle. These data points, what tell us is where are the main risks and how we are managing those risks. So the SRS is a number that goes between 0 and 2, and it benchmarks between to 1, where 1 is our average farm in an area. Like let's say if we go to India, our average Indian farm in terms of risks will be 1. So if our SRS tells us that you have some management improvements that will reduce your risk compared to the average, then you will go closer to 2, because SRS means resilience score, Shrimpl resilience score. So that means you're more resilient. We do this by tracking data from different structures, both manual data, IoT devices, satellite imagery, and when available, although it's not so common, drone imagery as well. We combine all of these within one single source of truth, which is Shrimpl, and put that in our proprietary risk framework. With that, we can estimate the risk of a farm over a period of time, over a cycle, a year, couple of years, or the duration of a premium or whatever we're trying to look at. So what we're trying to do here is minimize the marginal losses, help the farmer maximize the profitability of their farms and ponds. This doesn't mean you seed more, you necessarily need to optimize each of the different points by as we say in soccer, putting more attackers, right? You need to have a better management of your farm overall. Look at all of your costs, all of your security risks, all of your biological risks, and then combine all of that in a resilient cash flow, non-interrupt cash flow manner. And that's what the financial groups and the insurers will look into when they see if you are available to get a loan or not. So I will skip this one due to time, and I will let now Steve talk a little bit more about the Vietnam market. And thanks. Steve,
Yeah.
please.
Hi everyone. I'm Steve. I'm Vietnamese Australian, or Australian Vietnamese. Currently, I'm based in Vietnam, and Shrimpl is a product that is proudly designed and implemented by the team in Vietnam. We have a global team. We cover market in all the major shrimp market in the world. But since the product is built in Vietnam, we have a specific interest in the Vietnamese aquaculture market, and we have a special understanding about the Vietnamese market. So there's quite a few things that has been covered about the Vietnamese market, but we just want to go very quickly again about the specific in Vietnam. Next slide, please. Yeah, so Vietnam, the Vietnam War stopped in 1975. So it's relatively a young country after the war. And there's only a few milestones for the aquaculture insurance that we have had so far. It's all started for 3 pilots in 1982, 87, and 93. And all of these, as we mentioned before, it's the pilot run by the state government for the farmers, but not until 2011 there was introduction to the private public-private partnership programs where they want to bring the private parties into the insurance. And in 7 years later, the government issues a policy to support insurance for agriculture, forestry, and fishery. And the latest one, as we already mentioned, the Ministry of Finance approved the insurance products with the PPP partnership from Bảo Việt and Bảo Minh. However, this product has not been widely adopted from the farmers for various reasons. Next one, please. For the period of 2011 and 2013 pilot, aquaculture take majority of the share for the agricultural insurance revenue. Aquaculture account for $8.4 million, about 55% of total revenue, way ahead of rice and livestock. And next one, please. And for the payout of the insurance in Vietnam, aquaculture take much, if not most, of the payout. Out of 27 million insurance revenues, aquaculture account for 26 million of compensations, which is 3 times the revenue rate. So this is a very significant numbers, and mainly is due to the disease for aquaculture. Next one, please. And all these insurance product has been only related to climate change and exclude the disease. And this is major reasons why the farmers are not interested in this. These programs, as far as of now, are still on the website of those insurance company, but the adoption is quite is almost zero at the moment. And next one, please. And so the Vietnamese market is very hard to do because the farming area is quite fragmented. We have tens of thousands of farmers in province that are doing shrimp farming, and that actually make it really hard to carry out a program. The major problem of that is with the insurance company and the government also don't have any infrastructure or technology to monitor and to validate on the claims. But with those numbers, we see that it's actually a huge opportunities for insurance in Vietnam. Shrimpl have been in discussion with the Ministry of Agriculture and specifically for aquaculture minister, and they are very much interested in having something like Shrimpl to help build the infrastructure for the country. We are also working with insurance company to figure out ways to build parametric insurance product for shrimp in many markets, not just Vietnam. So maybe we have 2 minutes to show to show the platform, if the time permit, very quickly. Thanks. Oh, sorry. Hey, Daniel, sorry, can you actually share the platform? For some reason, it doesn't allow me to share the screen.
Or one sec. There you go. What would you want to see?
We probably just go through this platform very quickly. So we see that in order for insurance to work, there must be a way so that you can monitor every farming asset, and the core of that is the ponds. So we have 1.8 million ponds indexed in our system to the satellite and our artificial intelligence technology. Specifically in Vietnam, we'll be able to identify every ponds in the Mekong Delta. So here you can see that if you go into this province, we have every pond is mapped. And later upon these ponds, we have the satellite imagery data, where we be able to identify the historical water data available in every pond. We show this to the Ministry of Agriculture, and they are very much interested in having something like this as infrastructure. And using this infrastructure, the farmers can monitor their farms. The government can look into the farming areas for policy, and hopefully the insurance company can also utilize this to work with the farmers for the farming assets. The next thing we offer here is we offer the farming operations system for the farmers. And so if you go to the farms, for example, farms.
So Steve, maybe we should not take all the time to present the platform. So
Yeah,
just,
sure.
I think it's good enough
Sure.
to show what we are trying to do is to use the platform we just showed to gather all of that information. And within that information, both from the farm, from the satellite, in situ, from the technicians, we combine all of that to do better assessment, better management of risk using our own frameworks. I think we have taken more time than enough. So thank you, Steve. Thank you, Sukita, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Steve, for the really insightful and interesting presentation. So with this, we will move to the next country sharing experience from China. We have a team with Mr. Jason Wu, who's the senior agriculture underwriter and property and specialty underwriting from Swiss Re. And we have Ms. Luxin Lee, who's the Deputy Division Director, Product Development Division, Agriculture and Rural Insurance Department from the PICC Property and Casualty Company Limited. So over to you, Luxin Lee and Mr. Jason.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Good to see everyone here. Thanks, Suchitra and Dr. Roman. I'm Jason from the Swiss Re agriculture teams. As a writer who focuses on agriculture insurance, I'm really happy to be back for this webinar to share some insights and experience from China. We've got 3 members of our Swiss Re agriculture teams online, along with representatives from PICC Agriculture and Reinsurance Department joining us from the Swiss Re office. We will break down our sharing to 3 parts. To kick off, let me give you some quick update on the agriculture and aquaculture market in China. You may have noted that China agriculture market has seen huge growth over the past few decades. By the end of 2024, we expect our annual premium to surpass $20 billion, making China the largest agriculture insurance market in the world, just like in many other countries. Government support is super important for developing our agriculture insurance sectors. The product we have different types of product available, like traditional indemnity-based, as well as parametric insurance and revenue protection options. For instance, when it comes to aquaculture insurance specifically, we are looking at a premium hitting around $800 million by the end of 2024. Globally speaking, China accounts for about 40% of all agriculture premium out here. Plus PICC, the guest we have invited today, is actually the biggest agriculture insurance companies worldwide, with the annual premium around $7.8 billion. That is around 15% of global agro premium. A quick update on aquaculture and the agriculture insurance market in China. We are excited to share that we have been working on aquaculture topic for many years. This year, we are deep diving into aquaculture insurance by doing some specific research. Our focus is on marine ranching, which you may also heard called fish farm insurance. We have taken a good look at how risks are changing, the new product available like marine agriculture and liability insurance involved. And we also have shared our thoughts on what the future holds for fish farm insurance in China over the next few years. We believe that parametric insurance products, especially weather index insurance, will become increasingly important for managing risks in marine ranching because they come with clear data source, set triggers for payouts, and fast claims processing. Even though this report might target medium to large scale farmers, we hope it can also serve as a useful reference for smaller farms since they are dealing with the similar tough situations. All right, we are moving on to the third part, which is also the most important part of today's talk, PICC's insight on shrimp insurance in China. First of all, let me introduce PICC Property and Casualty Companies Limited. I think we have pulled out together some key figures from PICC 2024 financial report. PICC was founded in 1949. By the end of 2024, they expect the annual premium to hit around $79 billion US, with about 7.8 billion coming from agriculture. PICC has provided agriculture insurance for over 55 million rural households, offering protections more than 2.1 trillion Chinese yuan. And just so you know, PICC's mission is all about the people's insurance service the people. Now I will hand over to PICC speaker on their sharings. Let's welcome Mr. Luxing Li. Thank you.
虾类养殖保险它具有这个风险大、商品率高的这样的一个特点。从产品规模上来看，虾类是我国水产养殖的支柱性产业。中国是世界上最大的虾类养殖国和消费国之一，年产量巨大，产业链价值很高。那么从风险特点上来看，虾类养殖保险在自然风险上呢，极易受到台风、暴雨、极端高温等天气的影响，水体环境的突变呢，也会导致虾类的大面积的死亡。同时，这个虾类养殖由于密度高，然后虾类的这种白斑病、红彩病毒等疫病频发，它的传播速度也非常的快，控制难度也。
Sorry to interrupt.
Suchitra,
yes.
Our speaker will speak in Chinese and our colleagues will sit around to translate into English. So it will be a bilingual translations.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
继续是吧？那么从市场风险上来看呢，这个虾类集中上市交易呢，也会导致价格的波动，养殖户的收入不稳定。所以这个虾类养殖呢，也属于这个农业中的高危产业，对保险呢也有着天然的刚性的需求。
So we were talking about shrimp is a major aquaculture species in China. The country is one of the world's largest shrimp farming and consuming markets, which means there's high annual output and significant industrial value. However, this industry faces high risks, including natural risk, which include typhoons and water environment changes, disease risks such as white spot syndrome, and frequent and hard to control. And also there's market risks that exist due to price volatility, which impacts farmers' income.
那么从这个中国的虾类养殖保险，下一页。 从中国虾类养殖保险的现状来看呢，我们仍然处于这个区域试点逐步推广的这样的发展阶段。目前主要覆盖了江苏、广东、浙江等沿海养殖省份，以及湖北、江西、安徽等内陆特色的养殖区域。那么截止到2025年的10月，人保财险的虾类养殖保险已累计为6.5万户次的农户提供了风险保障，超过了83亿元。覆盖的范围包括了小龙虾、南美对虾、罗氏虾还有虾苗等。那么我们现在的产品体系呢，主要提供3大类的保障。一类呢还是自然灾害风险的保障，覆盖这些暴雨、洪水、旱灾、高温等自然灾害引发的损失。第二类呢是疾病疫病的风险保障，覆盖因白斑综合症、烂腮病等特种疫病导致的虾类死亡所造成的损失。第3类呢就是价格风险，覆盖的是由于虾收获时价格下跌导致的收入的损失。那么从补贴方式上来看呢，虾类养殖产品呢主要分为地方财政补贴型产品和商业性的产品。那么其中地方财政补贴型的产品呢是主要的形式。那么补贴资金主要通过省、地、市、县级3级财政来承担。部分的项目呢还可能会获得中央财政以奖逮捕类的资金支持。
Okay, so the program is still in the pilot stage, but expanding gradually. It mainly covers coastal provinces and inland specialty farming areas. As of October 2025, PICC has insured more than $1.2 billion over 65,000 farming households with more than 100 product types. Crayfish is the main insurance species, accounting for about 76% of total premium. Current products mainly cover 3 different types of risks: natural perils like typhoons and floods, disease risks such as shrimp mortality, and market price fluctuation risks. The products are mainly about subsidized products and commercial products that money mainly comes from local governments.
针对这个虾类养殖风险高，还有这个高脆弱性的特点，保险公司已经逐步构建起了多层次的风险保障体系。第一层主要是还是养殖的成本保险，比如说我们在湖北开办这种小龙虾的成本保险。那么第二类呢，就是气象指数保险，比如说在山东啊、广东等地开展这种南美白对虾的气象指数保险。第3类呢，就是收入类的保险，比如说在江西开办这种小龙虾的收入保险。那么我们的虾类的产品体系已经基本覆盖了池塘、大棚、工厂、虾稻供养等多种的养殖模式。
So PICC provides a diversified product system that upholds core insurance principles while enriching coverage options. Our traditional products mainly covers indemnity-based insurance. Also, we have innovative products that includes weather index insurance and revenue insurance, as well as coverage for shrimp larvae. We have various aqua models tailored for different farming methods like ponds, rice fields, and factory-based systems.
下面举几个这个产品的例子，比如说湖北的这个小龙虾成本保险，那么就是将小龙虾常见的自然灾害、疫病、溃塘、鳗塘等作为保险责任，将小龙虾养殖期内所发生的这种饲养成本，比如说包括种虾的成本、清毒池塘的成本、药剂的成本等，作为保额来进行设计的一类产品。
Okay, so we are making some examples about the crayfish insurance in Hubei province. The first, we're going to talk about standard crayfish insurance. It covers natural disasters and common diseases like white spot syndrome and bacterial shell rot. It also includes pond collapse and other farming risks.
另外一类就是这种综合收入类的这种小龙虾的收入产品呢，它同时保障了小龙虾的市场价格波动和自然灾害导致溃塘的这个逃逸风险。这个保险小龙虾的每亩保险金额呢，参照小龙虾养殖期内的所有饲养成本，也是包括了这个种虾的成本、饲料的成本以及价格以及市场的风险等来进行确定。
While for the standard insurance that covers some insured calculated on farming costs during the farming cycle, we also have the revenue insurance that mainly focus on market price fluctuation risks. If the price fall below a agreed level, farmers will receive compensation based on their fields and the stage of their farming cycle.
另外一类呢，就是对于这种气象指数类的保险，比如说南美白对虾的这个天气指数，就是将南美白对虾生长的暴雨、风灾以及寡照等作为核心指标来设置复合性的这种气象指数的保险。那么暴雨方面的起备标准呢，一般是这个日降雨在50毫米以上。风灾方面的起备标准一般为极大风速9级以上的热带气旋。像寡照事故等起备标准为连续5天以上的日照时间小于等于2小时等作为保险责任。
So we also provide an example of Pacific White Shrimp Weather Index insurance. The claims are handled under following process with initial survey about the weather index trigger, which includes heavy rain. That means daily rainfall is greater than a certain standard, and windstorm and low sunlight. We use this as the weather index trigger for compensation.
对于虾类这种保险产品的这个定损和估损的方法上面来看呢，目前主要采用这种抽样调查和实地测量相结合的方法来进行估损。那么具体的流程包括，第一就是这个接报案或者初步查勘，那么第二呢就情况核实和科学抽样。抽样的内容呢主要包括这个核实养殖记录、日常喂养的情况等，以及包括观察虾体表是否存在明显的病理以及应激症状，并根据池塘的面积、布局以及损失布局的情况来设置具有代表性的抽样点。那么第三个步骤呢，就是进行实地的测量和损失的推算，通过测量抽样点内的死亡虾数量、个体的规格，结合头苗的记录、生长记录与科学环境因素等来进行推测总损失量。那么最后一步呢，就是确定损失和理算，将这个推算的损失和保险的数量以及成本进行比对，来确定损失的比例，并结合条款的约定来计算赔款的金额。
So next we are going to share about our claims practice. It's basically how do we do the loss assessment. For starters, we do initial survey to quickly understand the situation, and we do loss verification that use sampling methods to capture representative data. And we have on-site adjustment digs deeper into the growth cycles and environmental factors to confirm the cause. And finally, we make adjudication to calculate compensation based on insurance terms.
下一步呢，就是结合虾类这个保险的特点呢，我们将进一步的在这个深化指数保险的产品运用方面做更多的研究和探索。比如说，针对虾类养殖保险损失在水下难以准确查勘，易发生赔付争议的情况呢，我们会加大这种气象指数保险的研究和运用，建立气象指数与虾类保险的灾害损失模型，提高这个产品的科学性和合理性。那么同时呢，还会增加智能风控的运用，探索在物联网技术在塘口在塘口部署这个传感器，向养殖户提供这个风险预警服务，把这种事后的这种赔付变为灾前的防护，降低事故的发生率。最后呢，还会进一步的探索 AI 的定损工具，探索利用无人机、水下机器人、声呐等技术进行损失评估，然后通过这种 AI 的算法来计算死亡的数量，提高这个定损的客观性和效率。
So looking ahead, the shrimp insurance market in China faces exciting opportunities for innovation. We tend to dig deeper in the use of parametric insurance Traditional indemnity-based products struggle with underwater loss verification, while parametric tools triggered by the weather conditions like typhoons or extreme temperatures can simplify claims and improve transparency. Insurance also exploring sensors and tools to provide early warnings so that it can shift from indemnity to prevention, thus reduce accident frequency and improve sustainability. Finally, we are going to apply new technologies like drones, underwater robots, and AI algorithms that can improve efficiency and objectivity.
Thank you, Suchitra. This is our sharings on Shrimpl insurance in China, and we also thank for our client sharings and trust their sharings will bring some bit more insight for our online audience. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jason, and thank you, Ms. Luxin Lee, for the really informative presentation. So with this, we will move to the experience sharing from India team, where we have 3 speakers lined up. We have Dr. T. Ravi Shankar, who's the principal scientist from the Central Institute of Brackish-Water Aquaculture, the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Then we have Mr. C. A. Srinivasan, the Senior Vice President, Alliance Broking Group, and Mr. Kiran B. from Aqua Exchange. So over to listening to the India experience.
Good afternoon from India. I do not know your time zones. Anyway, it is very warm good afternoon from our side. We have mixed experience in making this shrimp crop insurance live in India, particularly for the benefit of farmers. Why I titled Reuniting is we had insurance schemes. General Insurance Company, along with the 4 nationalized insurance companies in India, they already had an insurance policy and it was running well during a pre-WSSV pandemic before 95-96. Then there was a very calm period where the insurance sector did not answer the requirements of farmers, to put in a very crude way. So this presentation is made by 10 of our scientists from CIBA. So I am just the face for making this presentation. Next, please. So leaving out, because Daniel has already given difficulties in shrimp insurance very clearly, and the Chinese presentation given the practice, what are the claim practices you follow, everything you have made detailed. So my job is made very easy. So we will all agree shrimp is one of the major commodity for us who are all exporting, particularly Asian and Southeast Asian countries. Shrimp has been looked at as one of the saviors of our economy, particularly when India was undergoing a lot of economic troubles during 90s. Government was looking for the commodities where it can bring foreign exchange to our country. So shrimp was one of the flagship commodities since early 90s. So a lot of investment, a lot of research, a lot of support has been given in shrimp farming. So unfortunately or fortunately for insurance companies, shrimp farming faces a lot of challenges like vulnerability of sector. It is always prone to climatic problems, climatic risks, I would like to call. Then biological risks, then economic risk. Particularly all these farms are located right on the coast. They are very much exposed to cyclones, all other heavy rains, flooding, all affect and the first line shrimp farms only in India. And biological, we have WSSV killer disease and EHP slow killer, slow poison. And the economic risk, we have some global price volatility and so many SPS and other non-tariff barriers which deflate the price to international market, which is transmitted up to farm gate price. So all these things affect our shrimp farmers. So shrimp farmers look at insurance as a mechanism for financial protection, mitigating loss and enabling resilience to aquaculture, because our government has come out of the subsidy way of supporting any activity, whether it is public transport or electricity or anything, Indian government is moving away from subsidy. Our government is only planning to make this particular industry self-sufficient, including electricity. So if anything is not functioning, performing, our present government, Indian government, it is always looking for how to make it self-sustaining. Sometimes they are willing to make it to totally privatized or hand over to some other entity who can manage the things better from public sector to private. So for the last 10 years, this government way of doing things have changed a lot in India. So in aquaculture also, government cannot support farmers at all the last scenarios. So it is better to have a robust insurance mechanism to support farmers. So if farmers support insurance company, insurance support farmers, it will be more robust and government will be very happy. That is what the present level of thinking in India. And this presentation is mainly our experience with shrimp crop insurance, particularly for specific pathogen-free Penaeus sonomai, that Pacific white shrimp, and mostly on pond-based culture system, because India currently, it has around 90% of the farming in this particular area only. So all the policies, because insurance company need business to start and survive. So all my slides, coming slides will be on SPF sonomai pond-based culture system. What is the issue in insurance product? How farmers are facing, how insurance sector is reacting, and what are the challenges and strategies to overcome. Again, this reunion to become very strong. Next, please. So this is main thing. I do not want to repeat any statistics. Actually, we are the third largest producer, and it has been one of the major economic driver for our country. And farm structure, if you see, shrimp farmers normally in our country, they have a very bad image. They are all rich people. They make a lot of money and all. But in truth, and 89.7% farmers are small farmers. They have only two or three ponds just to sustain their family and lead an average life. That is the majority of the farmers. That is a big problem for insurance company also, because these farms are located in remote places in a totally inaccessible way, because the insurance companies cannot go and approach or solicit insurance from these people. So this is one of the hurdles in insurance penetration in shrimp farmers. And if you see the areas in which this shrimp farming is concentrated, Andhra Pradesh, that is Bay of Bengal, right in the turn, that state is the major shrimp producing state in India. So almost 70 to 80% year to year, there is some variation, mild variation. It is from Andhra Pradesh. Rest of the percentages are shared by other 4 state majority. The other states produce a little bit. And the species and system, as I told you earlier, Vanamay shrimp pond based, that is the majority of the culture system. Now, latest methods like advanced RAS, recirculated aquaculture system, bioflak, and superintensive natural shrimp farming system, which CIBA has developed with high rates with almost no external additive inputs except for feed. But these are all yet to scale up. Maybe later stages insurance may be extended to this, but presently commercial public activity, it is going on pond-based Vanamay shrimp. Next, please. So, as I told when Chinese presentation, they also listed this almost similar parallel risk. First one is farmer's mind, it is disease risk only, it is making the farmers losing their sleep. And the second is climatic risk, cyclones, floods. So diseases we also all know, particularly WSSP and EHP, vibriosis. This is the majority of the factors which cause loss to the farmers. And climatic risk, we all are exposed to the cyclones, floods, and extreme events more frequently now in the last 2-3 decades, which is having a very big issue with the shrimp farmers to recover even salvage crop, because this farm becomes totally inaccessible during these 2-3 days by the time whole stock is washed away. Then market risk, we all know what is happening with the antibiotic rejection, anti-dumping duties, latest reciprocal tariff. All these things reduce the profitability of end node, but everything is passed on downwards, and it affects the farm gate price. So all these things are ultimately borne by the shrimp farmers, whether it is small or big or large. And every risk is passed on to the farmers to manage. Then compound loss, sometimes many things happen together. At the time, cascading failures and the smallholder farms have to go out of business. That is the most pain point for us. Scientists, we always felt this should not happen to our sector. Next, please. So first one will deal with the disease risk, particularly in nutshell, because all our product of all the slides of each one slide is a product of a big project, big program running for years together. I am just giving a gist only. So if you see the first slide with the bars, EHP is a major loss-making factor in Indian shrimp aquaculture. We have given data for 18-19 because the major project's output is this one. The problem is we do not get continuous funding to continue this kind of thematic studies year after year, because insurance company people, after seeing the year in bracket, they always ask, what is happening this year, sir? This year, we have to do the whole thing. It needs funding to the large funding. So insurance companies need to invest something on research so that they will get the data what they want. Then this damage, if you see, WSSC and EHP, totally something like 1.02 billion. That is almost 20% of our export value is lost due to these diseases. And production loss per farm, normally we expect around 7 ton per hectare in our farms. Almost 30% to 40% is lost due to these diseases. And revenue impact, if you see at national level, it is something like around 10% of the total export value. See, around 8 million ton we are producing, 0.08 million tons are lost due to this kind of diseases based on our estimates. Next, please. So this is the second major risk. This is the climate issues. If you see, major whether due to climate change or due to other activities, our Indian coast, east coast is it is very vulnerable to all cyclone, floods, waterlogging, even temperature, salinity shift. Everything happens in east coast, particularly Bay of Bengal side. West coast side, it is not that much. Here, insurers takeaway point is when they structure the premium, east coast can have a little bit higher premium, while west coast, the weather risk loading for the premium should be minimum, because you cannot have a one premium for both the states, because the exposure, risk exposure is totally different for these two. So what we are suggesting is we have to make some high risk zones, and we have to have the rationalization of weather premium for those places, leaving the other places to survey with the lesser premium, because ultimately whatever discussion, whatever consultation we make, premium rates is the final factor which decides whether farmer accepts or whether insurance company surveys or sustains. Both the parties need the premium rate to be very rational so that neither party suffers. Next, please. So this is a very basic assumption. It is what I will say is very gross or crude estimate based, because India is such a vast country. Each district, they follow a different pattern of farming practices. Costs are totally different. Labor rates are different. Even electricity rates are different. Diesel rates are different. But still, this is the average.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Ravishankar. You have 10 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll make it fast. So, if you see the red bars, particularly the output decrease, mainly for diseases, hits the hardest to the farmers. As rightly said by Chinese presentation, farmer needs disease coverage. Next, please. So this is almost the last section we have come. Price risk is one slide contains a lot of information, but what we are showing here is we are compiling a probability of price instability as well as the production cost, and we make a profit per day per ton. So it is maximum at the 90th day for Indian Vanamation farming. Most smart farmer, he will be harvesting at 90th day, 50 counts. That means 20 gram a piece. There he makes the maximum money, because if he pulls on culture for another 50 days, he can get more revenue, but his marginal cost will be higher, because animals will be eating more feed, and the animals will have to be given more aeration, and all expenses will be more. So a smart farmer will harvest at 90 days and 50 counts. This is again an insurer's purview, because on the farming side, when you include the salvage value, this 90 days will be your borderline for the outer borderline or ceiling level. Farmers you can advise. Next, please. So again, to start with the cost and returns, if you work out, most of the shrimp farms, particularly in our the scenario I explained, for 60 days almost the shrimps in pond have no value at all. Revenue realization is zero, because they cannot sell even at local market, domestic markets, because the size is so small, nobody will buy. So after 61st day, the red line returns go up slowly and it picks up and it is over the costs. So here the point after 60th day, the salvage value will be taking care of input cost, on which basis insurance is given. So farmer insurance company need not pay anything to farmers. In fact, farmer may have to pay insurance company if he claims, because the biology, based on the biology, if it is a slow growth and other things, it may go beyond, because EHP disease is not killing animals, but WSSC is a killer disease. So there is some variation in that one, but average, if everything goes well, all is well, then 60th day is the break even. So risk exposure window for insurance companies somewhere between 15th to 60th day. So you can rationalize your premium rate based on the input cost of that particular period. Next, please. So next, please. So this is the path we have crossed. Our technology, particularly one point only I want to explain in this chart. Before 95, 96, we all had our own freedom to do anything with the shrimp farming. Then there is the issues of WSSC disease, and we had some illegal issues also. Then everything was streamlined. Government of India put Coastal Aquaculture Authority in place. There was a development agency called National Fisheries Development Board in India. And so after so much regulations, after 2009, they introduced specific pathogen-free 1MA. Here the seeds are clean, biosecurity is ensured. Then cluster farming concept was also picked up, so that total control over particular area is maintained by the cluster farm groups. So this makes the difference between the point at which insurance companies left insurance and the point in which now they are ready to come in. So 2022, we have launched our first product with Oriental, with Alliance Brokers, and 2023, Agriculture Insurance Company, again under our consultancy project, they launched. 24, we had a parametric product also for a change. And we now, last 6 months back, we have launched our Tata AAG product on shrimp crop insurance. And New India Insurance, they are revised their product and launched in the same period almost. Bajaj, we are completing their product development. Next, please. So this is the thing on which we have developed, and just to highlight major basic feature common to all this, most of the policies compensate 80% of the input cost, but to become eligible to claim, they should have more or equal to 70 or 80% of the loss. If it is loss is less, then it will not be declared as total loss. Farmer has to bear the loss. The basic cover starts from 110 to 180 days. Disease cover from 45 to 180 days. The premium is graded way it is increased, and no standalone disease cover. If somebody wants disease cover, they have to take basic cover also. No selection of pond. If farmer has 5 ponds, all the 5 ponds should be under insurance. Next, please. So the issues for high premium costs, as usual, the farmers are complaining. This is the one, but government has moved away from subsidy ideas. So government is giving one-time incentive just to make farmers to come under, inculcate the insurance habit under aquaculture insurance. We are just making some pilot moves, and something is moving. My colleagues will be from insurance industry will be giving other details. And claim settlement issues, there are a lot of technical issues, as I earlier pointed out. We are using a lot of new technologies also. Here the main problem in India we are facing is, once WSSC is noted, farmer is under great stress. You want to harvest and sell immediately. You cannot wait for insurance company to depute a surveyor or loss assessor, because the product quality goes or deteriorates. The animals become shriveled and dull. So it cannot be sold even in domestic market. So within 6 to 12 hours, he harvests the whole thing and sells. So it is a big technical hurdle to assess the salvage value. Then exclusions, if you see, equipment, infrastructure, they are all excluded mostly. But insurance company says if you pay a certain percentage of additional premium, we can give bund insurance, we can give sea transport, everything. But the farmers expect even this crop insurance of 4% also is high. So additional loading, farmers are not very happy. Then trust deficit is there in most widespread way, both the insurer side as well as farmer side, because insurers feel always that moral hazard is there, and farmers feel insurance companies develop their product for their sustenance, not for farmers' welfare. Next, please. So this is a government scheme under which some support is given, but it is not a subsidy. It is only one-time incentive for one crop for one person, so that he subscribes to insurance, and if there is a failure and if he gets some claim given, he'll be continuing insurance on his own. That is the idea behind this. Somewhere around 1 lakh for 4 hectares farm. They give 25,000 per hectare. Sorry, everything in Indian rupee. So it is just to push the farmers into insurance fold. This scheme is designed. So almost 500, 600 policies have been sold. Those details will be given by our next two speakers. Next, please. So this is the technology. Already technology has been spoken at, and as in CIBA, we are having a lot of publications. Particularly latest, we have publication in a high impact factor journal, for frontiers in food science systems, and current science also, and as many other small magazines and newspapers, because we want to popularize the insurance scheme. And we have developed a CIBA insurance app where it facilitates insurance companies to get the insurance basic details from farmers. But it is all farmer has to make a lot of entries. Now we are trying to include some kind of AI into that system with some engineering college collaboration from Hindustan Institute of Technology, Chennai. So we are want to reduce the drudgery of data entry by making voice-enabled data entry system and validation of data. Then we are developing another MS Excel workbench with some Monte Carlo simulation and optimization with multi-scenarios of risk probabilities and number of policies. Just if 0.2% of risk and 100 policies are sold, how much should be the premium? This will be useful for insurance companies as well as in training sessions we conduct regularly for the on-crop insurance. And even farmers also can be justified. This is a premium at which insurers can break even. Below this, they cannot survive. And we have made a handbook for surveyor and loss assessor because we do not have a standard guide for shrimp insurance. Next, please. So this again, government support mechanism is required. So without government support, we cannot bridge the gap between willingness to pay and actual premium. There is always a gap, at least 40 to 60% gap is there between farmers' willingness and the actual premium demanded. And farmers have to be made aware of insurance positive effect on their long-term financial resilience by conducting a lot of camps. From our research institute side, whatever we are doing, we are doing. But insurance companies should also step up their efforts. And insurance reforms, particularly, they have to reduce the friction in that claim verification that in detail our colleagues will deal. And they have to come up a little further, and they have to fund some kind of data set creation with the research institutions. That will be good. Next, please. This is our team. Actually, we have 10 scientists working on this. We have an economics and policy team, Ravi Shankar, Sairam, and Geeta, and animal health disease, Patil, Avata, and Anand Raja, and climate and ICT, Muralidhar and Kumaran, and aquaculture, Dr. Panihiri, and our director himself, Kuldeep Lal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Dr. Ravi Shankar, is Mr. Srinivasan going to speak, or we
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
consolidate the India presentation because the entire 20 minutes are taken up?
Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay. Mr. Srinivasan, I would suggest just go to the main product details and what is the underwriting experience. If you can sum it up in 3 minutes time, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Next. Good afternoon, everybody. See, aquaculture insurance in India was practiced in various forms by the different companies prior to 1999. Each public sector company had their own set of underwriting guidelines, claim settlement, and product profile. In 1999, the General Insurance Corporation of India, which is the holding company, consolidated all the practices into a market agreement, and all the companies were required to follow the market agreement from 99 onwards. But the adverse claims experience due to widespread outbreak of the WSSV caused the 4 public sector companies to discontinue underwriting this product from 2000 onwards. Next. And this product was reintroduced back in 2022 by Oriental Insurance. And the product basically consists of 2 sections. One is a basic cover, which covers all natural calamities, malicious acts, poisoning, and pollution. And section 2, which is a comprehensive cover, basic cover plus all diseases caused by virus or by bacteria. Next. So only total loss is covered under the policy. All the companies which are operating in the Indian market, be it Oriental, New India, Agriculture Insurance Corporation, or Tata AG, they cover only total loss. Total loss means the loss ratio should exceed 70% of the total stocking density. So only if it exceeds 70% of the stocking density, then the claim is admissible under the policy. Partial losses are not covered under the policy. And in the event of a total loss, there is an excess of 20%, which means the insurance company pays 80% of the assessed loss to the farmers. Next. So this is a brief procedure as far as the claim is concerned. The insured has to give notice to the insurance company within 14 days and submit the completed claim form along with the death certificate. The death certificate can be issued by any marine biologist or a qualified aquaculture professional, and he has to maintain daily records of mortality of feed, then the bills, vouchers, and receipts for purchase of seeds, feed, and other inputs. And in the event of an emergency harvest, he has to have geotagged photographs and videographs taken, which has to be submitted to the insurance company. Next. So salvage under the insurance policy up to 60 days, the insurance companies don't have a provision to deduct salvage because the salvage will be very negligible. From the 61st day onwards, the salvage will be based on the biomass, value of the biomass assessed just prior to the loss. So the comprehensive policy, what it covers is the farming cost or the input cost, which consists of the various components. The pond preparation, water filling treatment, seed cost, and the labor cost are taken as fixed costs, and the variable costs are the feed cost, probiotics, water charges, electricity charges, minerals, medicines, and other miscellaneous expenses. The sum total of fixed cost and the variable cost is treated as the sum insured under the policy. So there are certain discounts which are allowed to the farmers, and these are, if the farmer uses specific pathogen-free seeds, then he gets a discount of 15%. If there's a water reservoir available, there's a discount of 5%. And then if he follows the density which is prescribed by the CAA, then again he gets a discount. And for the soil type, again 5% discount is allowed. And for epidemic-free history of preceding 2 cycles, a 10% discount is allowed, and maximum discount is capped at 30%. So unfortunately, the insurance penetration in India since 2022, when the product was relaunched, has been very low. And till date, we have the premium which companies have earned from the market is roughly around $250,000, as against a premium potential of nearly $1.2 million. So this is as far as the insurance practice is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. Kiran, Mr. Kiran. I know you have a wonderful detailed presentation, but if you can just tell us
Yeah,
in
I'll wrap
brief.
it up. I'll wrap it up. So I
Yeah.
understood. Yeah,
Sorry
just
about it.
stop it. Mm, and, yeah, let me go to it. Yeah. So right now, through the technology, we are implementing the insurance among our farmers. So right now, the technology implemented by our farmers is almost 5,500 farms. We have implemented our technology, so which is spread across. Right now, it's around 67,000 as we speak. The technology is not a cost to the farmers right now. That's why the adoption is very high. So the technology, whatever is implemented among the farms, is saving the money for the farmer. It's an earning tool for the farmers. That's how we built our technology. So because of this technology, there is an inbuilt traceability to their farms. So because of the traceability, the banks and the insurance companies came forward to give their services to our farmers. So that's how we built this. Um, this is our technology stack. So I'll not go into the technology stack in detail. So this is how we are monitoring each and every part of the shrimp, the growth cycle from the seed to the till harvest. So we have a lot of devices, IoT devices, which is monitoring in detail each and every process that farmer goes through for raising their farms, for raising their shrimp. So so these are all our devices. I'll not play the video. So these are all our devices, which is it's all basic devices which already they are using. We just made it smart so that the devices whichever they are using communicate back to the system, so that the system can the dashboards can be visible to the banks, whoever are giving loans, providing loans at low interest cost to the farmers, and the insurance companies where the transparency is there. They can easily monitor whatever is happening in the farms. So this is the dashboard. Each and every time the farmers or insurance companies or the banks go through their farms, so about their stocks, what is their DOC, how the feed is getting into the pond, how much it is grown, so how much is at risk of their whatever the investment that they have kept. So I'll take into your detail. This is the financial report. Each and every pond wise, we publish the financial report among our banks, among our farmers and the insurance companies, so that the transparency is maintained. These are the insurance companies which we are working right now with AIC, Oriental, and Tata AAG. So till date, we have insured 1,900 acres through our platform, which is approximately 42 crores worth of material we have insured. Out of that, 800, which is 862 ponds is what we have insured. Out of that, 120 claims has submitted. So 27 right now as we speak, 27 is got settled. So one is rejected and 92 is in process. So this is the status of our platform enabled insurance among the farmers. So as Ravi Shankar sir told about the adapt, why the farmers are ready to adopt the insurance. Yes, it covers major diseases like WSSV and EHP, which accounts in Indian farms maximum losses. The confidence of claim settlement due to digital traceability right now. So because of the digital traceability and third party audit, there is a hassle-free third-party audit because of everything is transparent. So each and every status of the farm is visible to the insurance company and the banks and the farmers. So there is complete digital traceability we built because of that. So the claim settlement confidence is built in within the farmers. So yeah, one-time subsidy through NFDB is helping a lot to enable the farmers, small farmers particularly, getting into this particular insurance program. The documentation, everything we are taking care of. So the problems, along with the XP Alliance Brokers, Mr. Srinivasan team. So we are doing the documentation, most of the documentation for the farmers, so that he is not missing out any kind of a small documentation problems, which might be a hiccup in when claim settlement. So we are taking care of all those things. So there is a clear understanding. We are in Aqua Exchange platform, so we are clearly stating what is the policy wordings and clear understanding of what is there transparently to the farmers. So because of the digital data which we built, there is a one-click policy submission. So if any claim comes with one click, so we can submit all the bills to the insurance company without having any hassles. No need to collect the bills, everything, whatever he is using, everything is documented while they are purchasing it. So the documentation part is very easy in our platform. So live dashboards are given to the insurance companies for the transparency and hassle-free claims. So they can, if they want to visit the farm, so they can visit through the digital digital dashboard. They can visit their farms and the performance of that particular pond, each and every pond, whatever they have insured. Adoption is right now is very high among small farmers, wherever the farmers are having less than 4 to 5 ponds. So the adoption is high. So why most of the farmers are avoiding the insurance is, so most of the times the EM mortality is due to Vibrios are the most dangerous disease. It's because this particular Vibrio related mortality is not identified as it as a disease. No labs are not giving any certificate that this is a disease. So that's why. So people are, Vibrio is not covered. So why we need insurance? So that's what the question we keep on getting from the farmers. And insurance company demands NABL certified lab results for disease confirmation. So we have very less amount of labs in our vicinity. So where the farms are there, 80% of the farms in Andhra Pradesh. So we are stated in Andhra Pradesh. We have very less NABL certified labs are there, and it is taking time because of whatever the labs are very minimal. So even if we get submit the samples, it takes a lot of time to get back the results. So till that time, farmer cannot hold their pond. So that kind of issues we are facing. And premium cost, as everybody is speaking here, the premium cost is, yes, a little bit high. High loading factors. If I am having a 10 pond, so one of my pond got the claim settlement, immediately from the next crop, all the 10 ponds, there will be a loading factor, high loading factor of the premium of 20%. So which is stopping the farmer to go for the insurance again. So there are little bit disagreements between the surveyor due to harvest contaminations during the process. So there is one kind of little issue which we are facing, and there is a delay in claim settlement. Sometimes it is taking 1 year still. Its claims are not get settled and not get rejected. So it's kept under the doldrums. So that is affecting the farmers to gain the confidence on the insurance. So the regional level also, there is a loading on premium. So if one region is got affected with the WSSV, so the entire region, even though there are a lot of good farmers which is not having any issues, so even they are forced to pay high premiums for that particular if they are in that particular region. Insurer survey, sometimes he will not visit on time. So because farmers cannot wait for hours, because once the WSSV hits the farms, it is max, it will give you for 3 to 4 hours to harvest. It is very difficult for a surveyor to be there on time and impact. So it is impacting the decision of the farmer whether to go for harvest, wait for the surveyor. So that kind of issues are there still. So yes, greater than, if they have, farmer is having more than 10 acres, more than 5 ponds, the poor penetration is because of the high premium. So this is how we. I'll take another 5 minutes if you allow me. So I'll
No,
show
we
you.
don't have that kind of time. Just
Okay.
1 more minute. That's it.
Okay, so this is
Sorry
the
about that.
dashboard what we built. This is a live dashboard what we built. So each and this is the total right now we speak 67,700 acres is what we are covered. So till date 112 crores through our digital platform loans has been given to the farmers. So if I go to the dashboard, so the dashboard is showing you which are the farms are got insured. So what is the status? What is the risk of that particular pond? If it is red, so we have to go into that particular pond and why it is red. What is the kind of diseases? Which is what kind of issue there is there in that pond? So that's what we give the dashboard. So if I go to the platform, so farmers whenever they are using, so how much they spend till date, so how much they have spent till date, so that is there in the visible to the far insurance company. So even if we go into that particular details of the each and every invoice is presented for that particular form. So even if I download even farmer insurance companies or banks can download anytime this invoices of the farmers, and they can see what kind of consumption that is happening, whether that is in line with the policies or not. So even the policy, the invoices to the pond level we are submitting. So for example, even though we invoice it to, for example, for the entire farm, it is split, the annexure is given to for each and every pond how much he is consuming. So this is giving because the farmer is insuring for the pond level, right? So for pond is getting insured. So even the bills must be also submitted to the insurance companies to the pond level, which is very difficult if he is not in a digital platform right now. The claims are not getting settled because the calculations are taking hell a lot of time for the insurance companies or the farmer to prove that okay, this is this much of the feed I have used for this particular pond. So this is the status right now. So we are slowly improving the platforms, and farmers are adapting the insurance right now. Let's hope if the premium got if more people had adapted this particular this thing, then definitely premium will go down. So we are waiting for that particular timeline. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the India country experiences. They were really informative. Now the forum is open for any questions from the participants. In my opinion, there is more of information seeking that participants are doing at this point of time because of the innovative models that have been presented by various countries. So if there are, yes, Dr. Raymond.
Thank you, Sushita, and thank you for the speakers. From the various presentations, I saw that the adoption of the aquaculture insurance or the shrimp insurance is still an issue. Okay, they maybe adopt to the apps and so, and to get information and everything, but really the premiums and so and the is prohibited for adoption. What are the activities by the insurers to increase further awareness of the products that they offer to shrimp farmers, and how do they see that they can get these farmers that are currently not buying shrimp insurance, how to get them on board? How do we convince them to buy insurance services? Any good suggestions from any of the speakers? That would be great.
So can I? All right. Thanks, Raymond. Very good question. And I think it was covered by a couple of people. And I think the main issue is lack of data. So we need more available data from all different kinds of farmers, because what we're getting right now is a negative risk selection. So we're getting the guys that do want to pay for insurance or will pay that very large premiums are the ones that are not doing very well. And the ones that are doing well enough do not see why they need to pay that very big sums, right? So how do we avoid this is basically by getting better data. So the way to get this better data is through automation. So in the end, I think the way to do or the way to go is through automation, either in the pond with IoT devices and feeders and stuff like that, that not only will help the farmer improve, which they will. We've seen it in Ecuador, we've seen it everywhere in the world, that by automating, not only they improve the water quality and the resilience of the system, but they improve also their profitability and make their cash flows a lot more stable, which is in the end what we're trying to achieve. So by automating and centralizing all of that information and running it through something that we can make homogeneous framework, that we can take the advantages that we see in other industries like cattle or chicken or other agriculture productions, where sure we have the risks, but they are so much more measured and understood that it's easier to develop tools to improve this risk selection. So in the end, I think it's all about getting that better data. And to get that better data, since we have the ponds, it's all about automation. The main issue is if we want to automate, we need to finance, because it's expensive to automate these ponds, right? And usually where you find this wall where we just stop, we keep banging our heads to is if you want to finance that, they want to see insurance. And then it becomes this vicious cycle, right? Where yeah, sure, I will finance the automation if you get insurance. And the insurance said, I will insure if you get the data, but to get the data, I need to automate, right? So it's a little bit of this vicious cycle. And the question for me is, how do we break it? And to break it, we need to be very creative in how we fund, like, for example, lease to own models or other financial models different to the classics that we can tackle, and or getting new as I think Joanna, I don't remember who mentioned it, using other data gathering systems like the satellite and drones that will enable us to get this information at scale. So start small, I would say. Let's try and start small, doing parametrics or smaller insurance products, and then build on top of that until we get this broader adoption. That's my view.
Thank you.
Thank
Miss Q Din,
Yeah, madam.
you have something to add?
About the insurance,
I have a
madam, one of the
question.
questions.
Can you introduce yourself first?
Yeah,
Yes, I have a
myself,
question,
Dr.
but someone else seemed to be going first.
Oh, I think Miss Q, Miss
Okay.
Din, you go first, then.
So my name is Hui. I'm CEO of CHAP Insurance Vietnam. And I have questions to Mr. Jason Wu, who does the presentation on the shrimp insurance in China. I see that, you know, the success of PICC and the initiatives in China has been really great. A lot of it is based on the information and that the technology has provided. However, a lot of this technology, as you look at it, is require data collections. And so my questions is around, are there challenges that you have in getting those data, and public policies of the government, allow a very, facilitate a better way to acquire those data for the insurance company to design and develop insurance products?
Thank you for your question. I think it's very critical question to everyone in today's webinar. First of all, I think answering Dr. Roman's questions, business model side, we have recognized that government involvement is necessary, and their subsidy somehow is a must for the industry to promote shrimp insurance. As Dr. Roman has said, if we want to educate shrimp farmers to buy insurance, it will be a long period, and we'll have a lot of chaos, lesson learned up and down. And before we get a successful result, we may experience a lot of suffer, and the farmers may quit the games much earlier than we expect. So as other sub-line of agriculture, we almost come to the conclusion that government's involvement is a must for shrimp insurance and almost all other aquaculture insurance. And within government's involvement, subsidy is one part. And other part, of course, that's necessary, such as the data help. For example, in China, when we talk about weather index, we will rely on the ground weather station data. Of course, collect the temperature.
Jason?
Yeah, hello. Madam,
Wind,
very
typhoon,
important thing about
No. Jason is still
etc.
speaking, please. Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Jason. We had lost you.
Yeah. When we talk about weather index insurance, who have the data? Government official weather network, they have the data. They are part of the government sponsored weather monitoring network, right? We need the government's help to connect with such a network, to have the weather data, to help the industry to design a well weather index insurance. That is one example I can share here for your reference. For others, there are many. We are happy to share with our experience and also lesson learned in China after these webinars with the help of the network. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Jason.
Yes.
Yeah, madam. Madam, related to the fisheries insurance, I have one of the questions because in world more than 10 million people find agriculture and fisheries to be a source of their income and livelihood, including 39 million people that are dependent on the fisheries. And apart from this, there is a lot of problem occurs related to the fisheries insurance. But because of its the premium is a high cost as well as it is a very complex procedures, and there is a lot of fraudulent cases has already been because of there is moral hazards has already been recorded, and lack of customized coverage. And among the fishermen, there is a financial literacy is not too much. So how these can we cope with the situation to face such kinds of problem to provide the fisheries insurance to the fishermen?
So this is a question which, are you from Bangladesh?
No, not from India.
Okay.
I'm from India.
Okay. So would India team like to take this up?
We could not follow the question. Can you make it simple? We can answer that. What exactly was the question as such?
Exactly, the question is about the providing the fisheries insurance to the fishermen and farmers because of the 39 million people there in the fisheries sectors. And in India, the number is quite high also to the other countries. But there is a lot of problem related to the high cost of the premiums as well as the lack of customized coverage and the financial literacy is very low on the fishermen. So all the fisheries And then in fisheries, in fisheries, there is also fraudulent cases has already been reported about the financial
Right, sir.
insurance.
I'm getting the point now.
And also the people's fishermen have the limited financial capacity, and because of they cannot cope up the situations, because they have the limited financial resources. If there is a credit, so how can they adequately adopt these existing schemes and they can be insured?
Yes, sir. I'm getting the question. If you allow me, I can answer. If you allow me, I will answer. Actually, this meeting we were specifically focusing on shrimp crop insurance on aquaculture side, but NFDB team is in the meeting link. Probably they can answer this one. But briefly, group accident insurance scheme for fishermen is available. Mostly Oriental Insurance Company is doing that activity. And for fisheries, capture fisheries, the person going to sea, they are all covered. When even vessel, they all are covered by that insurance. Maybe after our director, Dr. Kuldeep Lal is waiting, he has some other engagement. After that, I request NFDB India team who is present in the meeting, they can give the more details for him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Muralidhar, I know you've been waiting for some time. Yeah, you have a question.
Don't worry. Thank you very much. I am Murali. I work for FAO India at this point of time. My question actually for India, I found both the presentation by the CIBA and Aqua Exchange very useful. And I just want to clarify, actually, CIBA had very clearly told about the issues that is affecting insurance coverage very clearly. And Aqua Exchange has given the answer for it. Maybe the data rich aquaculture has got more chance of getting insured and others. But my question is on, not exactly the question, but more of things that we'll have to think ahead is the information that we generally have is that the small farmers are not taking up insurance. And that was the impression we all had. But now Aqua Exchange presentation, last point, was also telling insurance uptake by the farmers above 10 acres is very less. So this is something a bit contradictory. Maybe that's what we may have to, whoever's working in the aquaculture sector insurance part, we'll have to take this into consideration. Why is it not penetrating into the small farmer sector, and why the big farmers are not taking up? Because I can understand Aqua Exchange point that the insurance multiplied by the number of acres by the big farmer is going to be a big amount. So I think we will have to do it at analyze it at two levels. How is insurance not penetrating those small farmers? How to make sure that big farmers also take up insurance? I think this is just a point that rather than I don't expect an answer for this, but something for food for thought. Thank you.
Yeah, you rightly pointed out, Mr. Ligaru. So the large farmers, for example, if they are having, for example, 50 ponds, right? So generally, the failure rate is not more than among the ponds, not more than 20%. So that itself is covered. The insurance that itself is covered for among themselves. Even if they pay premium, the premium will be higher than the loss. So that's why the large farmers, it is not viable for them. So we might have to give the additional discount for them so that they can come to the platform. Yes, the small farmers are more adapting because the failure rate for them, even when 1 pond goes among the 4 is 25% is the loss, right? So that's why small farmers adoption is a little bit higher when we approach the farmers for the insurance. So that is one thing. And where we are lacking is because we are working on this particular program for the past 1 year. So where we are lacking is the claim settlement time. Because you know the farms, right? So shrimp farm, it hardly has 2 months time to restock. Max 2 months time is to restock. So within 2 months, if they are not covering the expenses, so they have to wait for another 6 months or 7 months. Then definitely they will not have, even though they got the insurance claim after 6 months or 7 months, they'll not have the confidence of going for an insurance because the claim settlements is taking a lot of time. So if the claim settlement can happen within the whatever the insurance companies are getting promised, if you can say, if you can submit the documents, we will settle it within 14 days. That's what the promise they are giving. If they can stand by their promise, if they can settle within a month time, so then definitely the small farmers are in India are 100% ready to adopt this particular insurance. So this is the only thing which is stopping us. For example, even if we take, because we have almost 60,000, that means 20% of our entire aquaculture in India is particularly shrimp is adopted our technology. So now the data is there with us. So we have the data of each and every farmer. Most of the farmers, around 30,000 plus farmers, we have 2 years of legacy data to showcase to the insurance company, yes, this particular farmer is doing good. There is a legacy of their success. So that will help the insurance companies also to, it may not be now, but once they see the data, then they will understand the data value and they can give the insurance, the additional discounts to the farmers, whoever is performing well from the past 2 years, right? So the data will definitely. So right now that they might not be seeing the data because it's we are from a small private company, so they might not be seeing the data right now as a tool to give subscriptions, subsidies to the or discounts to the farmers. But in future, definitely this will be the forefront. This will definitely come to the forefront once farmers start adapting. Then all the insurance companies will see the digital data as a tool to give the insurance policies.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We were also discussing that maybe sometime next year, both Shrimpl's and Aqua Exchange, a much more detailed presentation also can be done, and we could look at what is the number of data of small and medium to large producers and how the adoption is happening. So that's something for next year that we can think of. So if there are no other questions, I would like to then invite Dr. Kuldeep Kailal, who's the director of Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture, CIBA, with whom we have co-organized this program. We have been discussing about this, organizing this discussion since late last year. And finally, we have managed to do this, bring together everyone this year. So over to you, Dr. Lal, for the address.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Suchitra, for making it happen. It's a good exercise that where we have been able to share the experience among the countries, because this is a path which we all are still evolving. We are only evolving the path. In India, if I say that we have tried to cover at least one cycle to validate what we have developed. It was not an easy exercise to bring all the stakeholders on board. It is more than 8 years it took to bring into the confidence the prawn federation, prawn associations, and along with the insurance company. As Dr. Ravi Shankar said, no loss for anybody. It was the way to think about. That was the underlining thing, that both the companies as well as the shrimp farmers should not have the loss. Now we have to think about, with this experience, how we go ahead. Here, I'd like to say one thing, that why the small farmers are able to take up more, which our Mr. Kiran Kumar has said, because the product was more designed for the small scale farmers. Because it was specific studies were conducted to make the background data for the companies, because the product was flexible, even starting from 45 days, which reduces the premium. And that helps and to take up by the small farmers. Second thing is, insurance will be taken by the people unless it is mandatory by those people who have suffered the losses. That's one thing which where the small scale farmers are more at loss. And our aim is, what we look from the insurance is that farmers should become more and more aware and adopt the best practices through insurance, because there's the incentives for the best practices. Second, they should have money for restocking. Third thing, they are lying at the forefront of all the risks of cyclones and all. They should have their resilience. And interestingly, this big industry is lying without any support. And now, question is how to go forward with this experience. We need to penetrate more, as Mr. Murli has pointed out. Like one has been the exercise with the aqua exchange, which has reached to the farmers. Can we look at the group insurance through the hatcheries or feed mills, which also have contacts with the farmers? Means that they add they take the group insurance and take the small cost of insurance in the feed as well as the hatchery seed. So we may have to find some innovative ways. Second, the problem of assessors. At our own, we have been doing an exercise to train the people, like graduates from different universities, to develop as a freelance assessor. One thing, they get additional job. Another thing, freelance assessors are available, which are qualified, which know the aquaculture, are at nearby places. Third thing, in the long run, I feel if we have got a very strong surveillance program, which is also developing, can we link this to the surveillance program to account for the shortage of the labs? Because surveillance is one of that's also now IT based, it is going. So based on the IT infrastructure, these two programs can be linked to each other? So we have many things to go about. And now we have to look forward based on this experience, how we fill the gaps and take the products forward and help the companies to make more competitive products. And India, I think they have there's one more option available, like Kisan credit card, the farmer's credit card which government issues. The premium can be paid through that also. So these are the ways of small incentivization which will help to take farmers. But immediately we should not expect that every farmer will come forward. It always takes time for something new happening to take up. But I'm sure with our first experience, with the help of many of the companies like Aqua Exchange, which are data-based, having the IT-based, like this, more companies can join hands and take up the product. And we'll be going our job as a technical service provider to all of them. And thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for organizing with us. And thank you very, very much, Suchitra, for happening this here. And here I will also like to thank the role of NFDB, which has taken it very aggressively, the insurance scheme. I think they are the one, their role is very important for the penetrating to the small scale farmer, because their NFDP portal, National Fishery this digital platform, where every farmer is supposed to register. That is very important database which will bring for the spearheading the insurance. Thank you very much.
You're muted, Suchitra.
Thank you, Dr. Lal, for supporting us to co-organize this event, and we hope to kind of work more and engage more with CIBA in the coming years. So with this, it's the closing remarks that will be presented by Dr. Raymond Van Androoy. He's the Senior Fisheries Officer and Team Leader, the Fishing Technology and Operations Team at the FAO. Dr. Raymond is also the CAFI-SSF Network Advisor, and he has guided us right from the year 2020 and has been advising us for various initiatives till date. So over to you, Dr. Raymond.
Thank you very much, Suchitra. So thank you for allowing me to do these closing remarks. Dear colleagues, speakers, and participants, let me begin by expressing my heartfelt thanks to all of our speakers of today from India, China, Vietnam, for their valuable presentations, and also to all the participants for your participation and for the questions that you asked. The presentations have provided us a rich picture of how shrimp insurance is evolving and why it is essential for the sustainability and resilience of aquaculture in Asia and elsewhere. We have heard that shrimp aquaculture is both a driver of the rural livelihoods, the small-scale farming, and export earnings. Yet, shrimp culture remains highly vulnerable to disease outbreaks, extreme weather events have been mentioned, volatile market prices, and so on. From the Indian case, we learned how disease and climate risks together can cause high losses, but also how new technologies can help to reduce the risks of shrimp culture. We also saw progress, such as new insurance products from the national insurers that include disease and weather coverage and integrated digital tools, and that also reward farmers who are adopting better management practices. From China's experience, we saw how public-private partnerships, such as between the PICC and the Swiss Re, and risk-sharing mechanisms are helping to expand insurance access to aquaculture producers at scale and to provide coverage for many thousands of shrimp producers. Then from Vietnam, we heard that that how the Shrimpl platform provides good opportunities using data and IA tools, satellite technology to predict, monitor, and also reduce risks, and trying to turn aquaculture insurance from a reactive instrument into a real management tool. These examples show us that shrimp insurance is no longer just for compensation of the loss. It is also providing additional services to the farmers. You're providing extra guidance, you're providing them extra security, you're improving farm management and also enabling investment in shrimp farming. At FAO, we continue to work with governments, financial institutions, also insurers to strengthen the enabling environment for aquaculture insurance. Through the FAO World Review of Aquaculture, of Capture Fisheries and Aquaculture Insurance, and follow-up technical assistance, FAO is supporting the design of inclusive insurance programs, data systems for actuarial modeling, but also policy guidance in agriculture insurance, but also to support a blue transformation. When we look ahead, then I see that collaboration will be the key. We invite, therefore, all the partners here on the call that include public agencies, insurers, technology providers, aquaculture farmer organizations to join forces and to scale up shrimp insurance, especially for small and medium scale farmers who are, in fact, the backbone of production of shrimp in Asia and beyond. We see that together we could make shrimp farming not only profitable, but also insurable, sustainable, and resilient. On behalf of the CAFI-SSF Network and our co-organizers CIBA and ICAR and the FAO, I would like to thank you once again for your active participation. Let us continue this dialogue and turn our experiences and today's insights into partnerships that protect aquaculture farmers, strengthen the production of shrimp and the seafood market supply, and advance a sustainable blue economy. Thank you all very much. And Suchitra, over to you for the closure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Raymond, and thank you to each and every speaker who has given their valuable time and shared great insights with us today. It was a great coordination effort and a great partnership that we would like to continue with all the country experiences and the organizations. This was the last webinar for us for this year. We are also open to any suggestions for any particular topics that any of the organizations may want us to organize for the next year. So feel free to be in touch with us. We are through the LinkedIn CAFI-SSF Network page. We would also share the presentations and the recordings, as well as any kind of dissemination material that we continue to produce. So with this, thank you to each and everyone who joined us today. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening and have a nice time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.